Reworked.ai. Some of you might know us as Reworked.ai.com, but have seen the changes. Maybe give it just another 30 seconds, Sham.
Mm-hmm.
Got people coming in now. This is going to be recorded, so if for some reason you've got to drop off to eat dinner or take care of the kids or do something else, don't worry. We'll record it and share it, and encourage anybody that's got questions to put them in the Q&A box, and we'll wait to the end, and then we'll go through all the different questions that we've got, and try to get everybody's questions answered. What do you think, Sean? I think that's timely enough. Got a good group on here.
Yep.
All right. So what we're looking to do is really we want to share with everybody what's been happening for Rework.ai in the last really 6 months, because many people have been customers for a while and have seen some changes come out. But we wanted to be more official and more professional and share what we've put together and give an opportunity to ask questions and even voice concerns if you've got about it. So who we are, as I said earlier, my name is Fred. Sean, we're the co-founders of Rework.ai. We've been running this business for just over 2 years. We started heavily in the real estate world, in the land flipping, as that's what I was doing and still am doing. And I met Sham because I sent him a direct mailer, and that was our meet cute. And he said to me, "Why did you send me a mailer?" And I said, "Well, I just sent them to everybody." And with his data background in computer engineering, he's like, "There's got to be a better way that you can get these to people." And so we brainstormed and came up with this business, and we've taken it from infancy to really being able to help real estate investors. And now we're branching out into the solar world as well, because the same commonality of trying to take data and turn it into actionable information. So when we're putting our mailers or doing our cold calling, we're doing it in a smarter, more strategic manner. And really, it's bringing machine learning, which is quite efficient and quite cost effective, and allowing people to turn data into actionable information. All right. So we all know direct mailers can be the most expensive part of our business besides acquisition of customers. Anywhere from 67 cents to a couple dollars, depending on what you're spending. So rather than sending out 8,000 mailers, you can send out 4,000 and save the $3,000 on mailers and be able to keep that in your pocket and still get all the deals that were in your original 8,000. So not only are you saving money, but you're getting to your deals that much faster. It's taking your list and taking your data, and again, going from data to actionable information. And we all know what machine learning is and AI. It's been a part of our lives, all of us, for the better part of 15 years, right? If we're on Netflix, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, we're a data point within machine learning, and that's what those sites are doing. And now we're just giving people the opportunity to use it for their own business, be smarter about how they get their product out on the street, save some money, and also save some trees. Okay, Sean? So it really comes down to being smarter, right? And the most satisfying part of this business for both myself and I believe Sham is really hearing from customers saying, "Wow, I'm so pleased that someone's doing this." You know, so many customers like, "I've always wanted to do something like this, but it's a little bit more difficult than just putting a business together." But so many satisfied customers are saying, "Look, I'm getting to my deals, I'm saving money, I'm being smarter about how I approach my customer acquisition." And it's just getting time and money back in your pocket, two things that none of us have enough of. Right? Well, a lot of questions coming in. Sham, you want to take over?
Yeah. Thanks, Fred. That was a good overview of what we do and who we are. The main goal of this webinar or this event was to basically highlight all the exciting things that have, that the team has worked on over the last few months and what we plan to work on in the future. And also just get some feedback from you guys. A lot of you I see, I was just looking at the list of people who've joined in. I recognize a lot of names. A lot of you are our customers currently. Some of you, will shortly be our customers. So, the goal of this is to, highlight all the exciting things that, we're working on and we continue to work on. So, this is a short uh, summary and highlights of the things we've worked on in the last like 3 to 4 months specifically. I will go into detail on most of them. There's one right at the bottom that I'll speak about now, which is lead generation. So we've worked on a brand new product line over the last, I want to say, almost 6 months, where this really came out of a conference we were at. And the one common theme that we heard in the conference was, guys, I hear you guys do a lot of sort of machine learning AI, where you're trying to, get demographic information and sort leads. But my use case is different. I'm a small business. I have an HVAC company, and I want to go find more people that look like my current customers. So there was like a common theme that we found, where there was a real need for AI to identify that typical customer profile and go find more customers like that. And that's what led us to lead generation as a product line.
So Sham,
Now,
is it fair to say, the common term is lookalikes, right?
yeah.
And
Mhm.
and the real powerful thing is being able to use that small to medium sized enterprise that's an HVAC installer or repair to say that that person has 300 to 400 customers that they've transacted with in the last 6 months. They can upload that name and address data. Betty will go out there and again look at the demographics with those individuals, find the patterns in their existing customers, use those patterns to go out and find customers that look very similar to their existing customers. Am I saying that right?
That's exactly right. So I'm just thinking maybe. By the way, we we hope to do this on a more frequent basis. The next one, it'll be good to kind of give a full overview and maybe a product demo of lead generation itself. This one is specific to real estate investors, so I'm going to focus only on that today. But in the future call, we'll speak more about lead generation. All right. So the first one is continuous learning. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. We've mentioned this at multiple points, but our machine learning algorithms is constantly learning. It's learning from the feedback that we get from our, a lot of the enterprise customers give us feedback on with the data, the campaigns that they've run, and where they got the deals, and we feed that back into our algorithms, and it is learning all the time, right? And this will be an ongoing process. That in fact, one of the things that will be coming up is a more easy automated way of doing this, where on the site itself you can just upload. Maybe it's something like, maybe you upload the list, or maybe when you log in, and we're also thinking of ideas on gamification and stuff like that, where just having incentives for our customers to say, okay, the list that I ran last, like 2 months ago, out of that, here are the 2 or 3 deals that I got, and you just click, and that'll feed into our algorithms, and that'll better our algorithms. All right, the next
So,
one.
with I I just want to dovetail on that because with your background, these things are second nature to you, right? For those of us that are laymen's about this, it's a bit more nuanced, right? Betty is no more than a human brain, right? And think of her as a child as she's learning. And the more data that she sees, the better that she's gotten. And I remember the first real algorithm that Sham and the team had put together almost 2 years ago when we were still in beta testing. the effectiveness was good. I remember the first campaign I used with the real strong algorithm. It was amazing for me. But where we are today, I mean, as a land investor myself, I'm only sending out 2,000, 2,500 mailers, and I go even higher than what Betty recommends because I want to value time and money. And I've maintained a tactical deal flow and taken my costs down to just the bare minimum. And really, in the last 8 to 12 months, it's gotten so much stronger because she's getting that feedback from our enterprise and institutional investors. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, no, all good. So okay, so the next feature that we worked on is updated mailing address. So some of you might have seen in the files that we generate now, we also have a Betty updated address line one, line two, city, state, and zip, in addition to the Betty score, of course. Now, what this is we were getting back from our data vendor address corrections, and I think one of our customers asked for this, and we said, yeah, actually, why don't we just give this to all our customers? So
Yeah,
what did
the customer was willing to pay for that address because
yeah,
their viewpoint was if they could get the address that no one else could get, that they could get through the clutter of all the direct mail that could be getting to that owner first, or what where no one else is getting there. And we thought about it. And we're like, is this an upcharge or is this something that we want to share with our community? And ultimately, it came down. This is something that we want to share. We want to make people that are using Reworked AI more effective, right? So
yep,
yeah, it was another from a customer. Can you do this?
yep. Yeah, and that's what I love about the customer community we have, which is it's constantly bettering our product for everybody, right? So that's fantastic to see. So yeah, so it gives you not just a corrected address, but also the moves. So if someone's moved homes or whatever, we get the new. And of course, this is important for us because that's how we are able to triangulate on that customer, on that individual, to get more demographic and psychographic information about them. So this we anyways had, but we giving this back to the community now. All right, so this one again came from another customer, actually not well, both a feedback and an incident. So one of our customers came back with, "Wait, hang on a second. Like the results I got, the campaign wasn't that great, and we really dove into it, and we realized that for that one particular file, somehow they just like misspelled the owner name, the column header, because of which we were not able to really hone in on that individual, leading to terrible results, right? So because of that, that led to us really looking at our product processes and workflows and realizing, like, hang on a second, if a file, you know, were to, we were not able to actually get the customer insights in that file, we need to step in and have a human being look into it and make sure that, okay, something's not right, maybe it's misspelled or whatever, we're going to reprocess that entire file. So that led to what we've termed as confidence insights in our product. This, by the way, the page you're looking at is not visible to customers. It's only for an admin or a support person to step in on those rare occasions, to maybe fix a little thing, something in the file, and reprocess the file. But this is obviously all this helps is it helps get that accuracy up and ensure that there are no incidents where a file just slipped through the cracks and gave terrible scores when it shouldn't have.
So, again, just to put this in more layman's term, it's a check of a check of a check, right?
Yeah.
We realize that our customers are paying money and they have an expectation of the highest degree of accuracy. If something was in the file that was that didn't allow Betty to do her job to her expectation and to our expectation for her, it pops. And when it pops for our engineers, then they're looking at it and they sleuth around to see, okay, is there a column header that was wrong? Is there a piece of information that was wrong? So it doesn't get back to the customer. This still happens within our 2 and 12-hour time frame, but it's just a matter of saying, we want to make sure that the money our customers are spending is the most valuable thing that they can do. And we really place a lot of emphasis on that. And we have teams of engineers that are looking at these files that are processing every minute of the day to make sure that by the time you see the file, it is what you're expecting in terms of value.
Yep, totally. Yeah. So the next one, this is exciting. That our team spent quite a bit of work on this, and I think I see one of our customers who
Yeah, I
actually
saw him as well. Yeah, he
yeah
started.
use the product at this webinar. But yeah, so there are customers as well as enterprises now that are integrating with Reworked, not from a UI standpoint, but let's say a customer has, is tech savvy and they have some automation in place where Reworked is one step of their multi-step workflow. So using what is known as an application programming interface or an API, where you're able to actually interface with Reworked using these APIs and not having to go to the UI, but basically all that means is, you are able to automate the process of uploading a list to Reworked and getting the Betty scores.
So that's
And
just
that's
that's someone's CRM
yep,
talking to Betty and Betty
yep,
talking back to the CRM, right?
that's exactly right. So you can have either a human use Reworked, right, upload a list and download Betty scores, or you could have another software integrate with Betty. Now that's the capability that we've introduced. Yeah, and that CRM one of the CRMs we're integrating with is Investment Dominator. For folks that use it, you can simply go to Investment Dominator, select the records that you want, and get Betty score from there. And behind the scenes, it's going to go to Reworked. Reworked is going to do its thing and push Betty scores back to Investment Dominator in a very seamless fashion. All you need to do is have a one-time setup on the Reworked side. We have a video for that now, a video tutorial, and there's a blog written by the Investment Dominator folks on how to do what you're seeing on the screen. All right, that's all of what we worked on. Obviously, the team has worked on a whole bunch of other things, but we wanted to just capture some of the highlights on what we could actually cover here. All right, so what's coming? Some exciting stuff coming up. So name parsing, I'm going to go a little bit into detail with this. This is again something another customer requested us for this, which is, hey, and by the way, this is something that we had already started to work on because this is extremely important to us. So just to give you a perspective, owner full name could be in any of these formats, right? It could be, husband, wife, last name, John Doe, Doe John, all these permutations and combinations of a given name. But for us, it's important that we know what is the first name and what is the last name, because we need to use that name to go hit our vendor API to get more insight about them. And obviously, all our algorithms are dependent on that. But it was also important to this other customer because they wanted to really get the first name correctly, because in their mailers, they wanted to address the first name only, right? So important from many different perspectives. But we're working on this. This is actually under test right now. The solution, you'll be surprised, uses a lot of AI on its own, right? There's a lot of large language LLMs being used and all of that. It might look like a very trivial problem, but
It's pretty difficult.
it's pretty difficult. So that's coming up. The other place where we feel we're a little bit, in all fairness, lacking right now, where we need to make ourselves a little more robust, is just business data, right? So we have a lot of records that we get where properties are owned by businesses. We get very, very rudimentary data on business today, which does well with our algorithms, but we feel we can do a lot better. So that's coming up. Of course, continuing to improve our models. That's continuing to work. Now, column mapping. Some of you might have felt the pain with this, where you upload a file and then it immediately errors out saying, "Hey, we don't really recognize these columns," and you're presented with a modal where you have to select the columns manually. Now we're investigating, with advanced large language models to see, okay, can we sort of automatically recognize the columns irrespective of whatever name you've given, right? And that'll ease out on some of the customer pain point that some of them face today, especially if you bring data from some non-standard data sources. So the lead generation feature that I spoke about earlier, one thing I wanted to point out there was that capability doesn't exist today for real estate investors, right? We oftentimes, our current customers, real estate investors, come up to us and ask, "Hey, we see this lead gen product on your side. Can we use it to generate lists?" And the answer is no, unfortunately, at the moment, right? It's because when you go to data tree, prop stream, whatever, right? Like whatever data source, you are really generating a list of property data. But what we are focused on today is mostly sort of customer demographic information is what drives a lot of our product. But we do plan in the future to have the lead generation feature for real estate investors, just not available today. So, all right, two more, and then we'll turn to Q&A. Sub accounts. We are having a lot of small, medium enterprise customers who have multiple people using our product, and they have requested for this. It's always been in our back burner, but I think we are going to prioritize this over the next few months, where you should be, if you're an enterprise customer, you should be able to simply add sub accounts to your site, and it'll share the same billing, invoicing, and everything. But other users could also upload lists onto Reworked and process them. We might also have some pricing updates, coming. Some more customer friendly pricing updates coming in the future. We haven't kind of fully ironed out the specifics of it, but this is longer term. It's not a big priority for us right now. That's it.
So Sean, we've got some questions that have come through. So maybe I'll grab the first one. We'll just go in order. You can see them as well. So this question is, how much does it cost, and is there a commitment? Right? We don't have a commitment. We've got monthly subscription that can be paused or canceled at any time. We've also got a pay-as-you-go. Obviously, the pay-as-you-go is the highest unit cost. But for people that are just getting into the real estate investing world, it's a great way to start, run a list, see how it goes. I always tell people, if you sign up for a subscription and you're running a list through and you don't see the results subjectively and objectively that you feel you need to, just let us know and we're going to refund your money, right? This is not a money grab for us. We want to make sure people are happy with the results. So Sham, the question is, can we generate lists directly on Reworked? I think they're asking similar to what you're talking about for lead gen, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I just answered that. Maybe that question came in before.
Yeah. Can I use the lead generation feature for my HVAC business? The answer is yes. So if you can see the moose behind Sham, it's because we're currently in Salt Lake City, going to be attending and sponsoring a solar conference. But if you've got existing customers, we're able to have Betty create a bespoke, a customized machine learning model for you and your business that will allow you to pick any county and any amount of leads that you need throughout the country. So how about this address update again? All right, Sham, so maybe this came in before. So does that include moves, recent moves? Is someone,
Yes,
since the county got the record?
That's correct. Yeah, it does include moves. Now, it is possible that, I have seen pretty good data quality from our data vendor, but it's always possible that like let's say someone moved last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, and we haven't captured that. That might be possible, but otherwise, yes, it does include moves, and the data quality is pretty good from our vendors. Yes.
Yeah, and data quality from the vendor is directly from USPS, right? So if USPS gets it and downloads it to the vendor, it could be a timing issue.
Hmm.
Here's one. I struggled with Investment Dominator setup. Could you make it easier? So, Sham, any comments on that?
Yeah, we did go through some teething pains in the beginning with the whole integration, but we now have a video guide and a blog guide from both Investment Dominator and from us. One other quick update, you know, uh, people, as of today, we're not able to process multi-thousand line files from records from Investment Dominator, but the team is actually working on that feature right now on the Investment Dominator side. So I hope by sometime next week, if someone wants to process, 100,000 records from Investment Dominator or 20,000 or whatever, you should be able to.
Great. So here's one. Do you have an affiliate program? So we do. We've got a whole slew of coaches and influencers out there that are using Rework.ai. And of course, we want to recognize that they're out there working with us and they can use it with their individual coaches and people that are following them on their site. So yeah, we are looking to help from an economic and share that with someone who's promoting the product because they use it and it works for them. I have some
Great.
feedback from our last camp. Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
So one more question I just saw came in. So someone's asking, hey, we're getting, they're doing, skip tracing of mailing address, and how should we handle conflicts if Betty were to show a different address? I would say please bring that to our attention. We're always, would love to see conflicts like those, and because we'd like to understand, where that is, and if it's on our side, we certainly would want to know that and get that corrected with a vendor or whatever. And that feedback loop is important, right? And that's what is always appreciated.
Yeah, and it's on our roadmap to make that feedback easier for our clients because it is so important for Betty. Sean, and we've talked about this, the difference between lead gen and lead sorting. One is for the real estate world. And, I just want to share that, before Sean gets in this, that the lead sorting right now is based on millions of records and thousands of deals that have been done. So, if you're a newbie starting off on this, you're getting the advantage of the insights and value of all these other deals that have been done. So you can be as insightful and actionable as someone who's been doing this for 5 to 10 years. And what if I don't get the results and how can I tell it's working? So, we talked about that. If you're not getting the results, if you're not seeing at least a doubling of your response rate and your deals, we want to know. We want to have a conversation with you. Obviously, what you're putting on the paper and getting out, that's up to you. But if you've got apples to apples comparison, and if something's not working for you and you're not satisfied, again, we're going to give you your money back. That doesn't happen very often. We're usually able to get to the bottom of it and see what's going on. But what you want to see is a doubling of your response and your deals. We have a lot of customers that do A/B testing, right? They'll run something through Betty and run another one, a different county, and see what the results are. It's not a pure apples to apples comparison, but it's a way to get a sense for what Betty's going to do for you. So we're coming up on the 30 minutes. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. And I just have one. Is there one more in here? No. Okay. So one last thing. So we really appreciate all of our clients. Genuinely, we love talking to them. We love getting feedback. We love being challenged. And the fact that you've just taken a half hour to listen to us rant and rave here, all the participants here, we're going to go ahead and refund your last payment, right? So if you're an enterprise and you spent, the $400, we're going to refund that back to you as a measure of saying thank you for being a client, for coming in, for asking these questions, for helping yourself and helping us and helping other people. So, just a little thank you for taking the time. And again, thank you so much. Sean, anything else?
No, this was our first one. Hopefully of a good cadence. Hopefully it's useful, but yeah, keep it interactive, and we'd love product ideas and feedback, and that's how we build a product and build a community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.